Alright, here we go. Okay everybody, we are going to do the city driving on this car, and I'm in sports. Okay, we're going to use eco mode using the DCC, which means this is the most economical mode you can have, and we're going to drive a mixture of semi-highway and city driving. We are somewhere in Gombak on the outer ring road, and we're heading back to Petaling Jaya. So this is to give you a chance to feel the car in a city driving environment. How does it feel? Now there are a few modes. You can have eco, you can have normal, then you can have sport, then they have comfort mode. So in eco mode, this is probably the most economical mode that you can have. Now you notice this engine is 190 PS. It's a 2-liter engine, and it is the same engine that goes into the Golf GTI and the Golf R, and it can go up to 300 horsepower. But what they have tuned this car to be is 190, because they are looking at the long-term fuel economy and durability of the engine. So let's see what kind of fuel consumption we can get. We have reset the trip meter, and let's just see. Trip meter, let's go to overall overview. Yes, and you can see we have traveled for 1 kilometer something, and our fuel consumption is 6.3 liters per 100. That's because we were idling the car a little bit just now, so now it's dropping 6.2 liters per 100, and we have the camera on the meter, you can see, and you are in 7th gear. We're going at about 80 kilometers per hour, which is a little bit under the speed limit here. I think it's 80 here, and we are on the outer ring road. So you can see we are in 7th gear, and the engine is pulling at about 1,400 RPM, and we're going at about 81, 82 kilometers per hour. So we are looking at almost 60 kilometers per hour per, is it? Yeah, 1,000 RPM. Yeah, it's almost 60 kilometers per hour per 1,000 RPM. And of course in eco mode, watch what happens when I lift off on the accelerator. You see the word E, and then the engine RPM on the left goes down to under 1,000. Well, E means now we are in eco mode. The car is coasting. In other words, the gearbox is disengaged from the engine, so the car is just rolling on its own free will. But the moment you step on the accelerator or the brake, then the gear will engage itself again. So this is something that hyper-milers will love very much. You can get very good fuel consumption. Look at it, we are getting 4.7 liters per 100. Of course, we are going very slow, but the potential is, if you are driving in the city and you are enjoying your leisurely drive at 75 kilometers per hour, like I'm following the car in front, you are enjoying very, very good fuel consumption. So of course in eco mode the power is slightly reduced, but it's just a touch of the button. You can just touch the button, and then next thing I'm in comfort mode. So in comfort mode it goes into D, so it will not go into coast mode, so there you will not get so good fuel consumption, but it'll still be quite good. So you can drive in comfort mode, or you can drive in normal mode. In normal mode you get more power, and consumption again is marginally more, so you can choose your mode. But anyway, just to show what the car can do in eco mode, we're going to shift back to eco, and so you see the gear marker on the meter says E7, so we are in E mode, eco mode, and in 7th gear. And see what happens when I lift off on the accelerator. The 7 goes away and you're in coasting mode. So the car is just rolling along and the engine is idling. So that's one thing great about this car. With DCC you have this mode. So makes the car potentially very economical to drive and to own. And at this speed, yeah, this is the D segment sedan, yeah, and it's slightly smaller than the Arteon, but only very slightly, about 2 inches shorter, and but it has the same engine. Total weight is about 1.5 tons, so with a turbocharger, 320 Newton meters of torque, it's really nice. And of course, this one has got 19-inch wheels that gives you a better ride, and of course better road holding. The standard Passat has only 18-inch. Anyway, these are Pirelli P7s, so they are quite good tires. Okay, we're going to overtake this car. So even in eco mode, when you step on the accelerator, the car will go. So the speed limit is 90. Oh, we just went above a little bit just to overtake. That's okay. And so this car will behave very well on the road. It's very comfortable. We are in eco mode, so the suspension is set for comfort. And so the ride is very, very good. And the only noise you can hear is actually from the tires. Where's my smart tag? Okay, looking for my smart tag. Okay, it's here. And what's the fuel consumption? We have 5 liters per 100. Wow, that's 20 kilometers per liter. That's very good, isn't it? Better than a lot of cars that are lighter and smaller. So if you are very conscious about the environment and you want to save fuel, if you just drive like how I'm doing, we're not going very slow, yeah? I'm just accelerating quite normal. And so because our distance is very short, we just gone 9 kilometers, it's gone to 5.5 liters per 100. So it's down to about 18 or 19 kilometers per liter. Yeah, big deal. Isn't that great for a 2-liter car, 1.5 tons, with so much power and so much torque, yet it sips fuel very conservatively. And look, we're going at 100 kilometers per hour, and our speed is about 1,600, 1,700 RPM. And we are in eco mode. I lift off and it goes into coasting mode, so that saves a lot of fuel. Okay, so don't worry about the coasting mode, because the moment you step on the brake or you accelerate again, the gearbox will engage itself. So we're going to move into the Damansara area, the Hartamas area. We're going to spend a bit of time in traffic and see how the car behaves. So far we've gone for 10 kilometers. We don't want to do a very, very long fuel consumption run, because that can get very boring. So at the same time, we are driving the car in city conditions to show you how easy it is to drive. So the best mode for driving in the city or anywhere, if you are not in a hurry, the best mode is to drive it in eco mode, because this is the most fuel efficient way. And every time you lift off on the throttle, the car goes into neutral and you are coasting, and that saves a lot of fuel, as much as 20-30%. Okay, what I like about this car is also the blind spot monitor. There's a huge light on the right hand side. and of course also on the left lah, because the driver is on the right hand side, so I can see if there's a car approaching from behind. In my blind spot, I can see a huge orange light, and that is very, very useful. Okay, we are merging into the Sprint Highway and we are going towards Petaling Jaya. Oh no, this guy did a last minute lane change. So as a defensive driver, what you should do is you should expect people like this fella to go and change lane without signaling. You know, just by his body language, or rather the way his car was uncertain, I kind of expected he was going to come out. So I lifted off and waited for him. So if you always expect the other driver to do something not quite right, then you will be safer on the road. Whole idea of defensive driving is to be defensive and avoid bad things from happening. It can be something simple like a fender bender. Nobody gets hurt, but you feel very hurt because your car is injured. Yeah. Okay, so my smart tag, and we're going through another toll. It's a nice morning for a test drive. Okay, so far we got 5.7 liters per 100. That's very decent for a 2-liter car, man. Normally you'll be expecting maybe 9 or 10. Now I'm driving quite normal, not trying very hard to be economical, but I'm just using gentle throttle and I accelerate when it's necessary. But of course this car has got the coasting mode, and right now I'm coasting and it's saving fuel. We're going through the Penchala tunnel now. Okay, I'm going to slow down because this is a speed trap area. The speed limit is 80. So we're going at 80. When you lift off, the car goes into neutral and you are coasting. And what do we have? 5.4 liters per 100. This is what you expect in a 1 liter car, right? Now this is 2 liters and 1.5 tons. How is that for good fuel economy, man? Okay. So we have done 17 kilometers of driving and we have settled down to 5.3, 5.4 liters per 100. Okay, a word or two on the ride comfort. When we put into comfort or eco mode, then the suspension gets a bit softer and the steering is softer, so the whole car becomes very nice and comfortable. Yeah, and of course when you go into sporty, then you get stiffer suspension and heavier steering and more sporty engine tune. So if there's one thing I say is worth it that makes it worth it to buy this car, it will be the DCC. Yeah, so the other trim that comes with it as the R-Line, they are there for you to enjoy, but the main thing that I go for in this would be the DCC, because that's the same as the DCC in my Golf R. Okay guys, so we have now got something like 5.3 liters per 100, and I think that's pretty decent. So we are getting near to my destination. So that's the end of the road drive session with the Volkswagen Passat. So if you like our video, please give it a like, and if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe, because our sponsors look at how many people we have on our subscriber list. That is a sort of like a sign of how popular we are. And so if you can help us by adding one subscription to the list, it will be much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Until we meet again, bye bye. Okay, so the final is 5.2 liters per 100. That is the way we will end this drive.